Okay, why traditional MBAs fail most professionals. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm George Sloan. This is the MBA Accelerator channel. Look forward to talking to you. Today we're going to talk about why traditional MBA programs fail most professionals. All right, so first of all, when you're considering doing an MBA that's traditional, you're probably going to be spending $200,000 in 2 years of your life. If you have a decent job and you're just looking to advance yourself so that you can get a raise or a promotion or maybe a new job, you don't really need to go and spend $200,000 in 2 years of your life. So let's talk about something a lot of people don't want to admit. Traditional MBA programs don't work for most professionals. It's just a fact. You've got a decent job, you just want to, get a leg up, and stopping that and going for an MBA isn't necessarily the way to go. And here's why. I mean, they're expensive, they're outdated, they're way too slow. It's not like the old days where you had decades to milk your knowledge that you got from it. Things are getting tighter and tighter in terms of, how fast things are moving. So you don't need 2 years of theory to learn, what actually drives a business forward. And we can help you with that right here at the MBA Accelerator channel. What you really need are the frameworks, the tools, the models, the concepts, um, you know, ways of thinking, approaches. Again, what decision makers use every day. I mean, are you going just to get a degree? I mean, getting a degree is simply just a piece of paper. It just says, oh, you showed up, you paid a whole lot of money, you spent a few years of your life, and, oh, now you're ready to do something. I say that's bullshit. I say learn what you need to learn while you're still working on your job. You just need to find a way to learn it fast and apply it faster, and it can be done. You don't need another semester and a bunch of PowerPoints or some kind of, group project. You know, it just it's going through the motions, and it's not really doing what, moves the needle. So the truth is, most MBA programs are designed for the institutions, not for you. What do I mean by that? Well, I look at traditional higher education as a massive industrial complex. It's a machine that needs to be fed, and they're fed with your tuition dollars. And the tuition dollars are not cheap. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I've said before, you can spend upwards of $100,000, $200,000 for most educations, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So what you really want to do is look for alternatives that get you the same results, only faster, without putting you into years and years worth of debt. They're built on tuition, and they're not built on accelerating transformation. They want you there, and they want you there for a while, because you've got to keep feeding that machine. And ultimately what happens to you, people graduate with massive debt. You got vague knowledge that might be out of date, and you've got no clear idea of how to apply what you've learned. And that's where the MBA Accelerator channel, we are different. I think you can learn the knowledge and skills of an MBA in a matter of hours. In fact, I'm putting together an accelerator course, and I have a link in the notes here. I would highly recommend you join the wait list, because it's coming very soon, in the matter of a couple weeks. And honestly, it's going to put together a way for you to get the knowledge and skills in a matter of hours. Once you learn the skills, and I have said, even on my other channel, myforduniversity.com, I've said a motivated 12-year-old could learn the concepts, models, frameworks, and skills of an MBA. It's not that complicated. And once you learn them, they're the building blocks of creating the deliverables, which are what you really use to get your results. And that's the marketing plan, the strategic plan, the business plan, various analytic reports, various case studies, whatever it might be. That's where you make a difference. And going and spending your time in a traditional format, you're going to sit there like this going, oh my God, I can't believe that this is going to be weeks on end, when you can get it done in hours. And if you use the templates and the step-by-step instructions that I include in my course, you're actually going to be able to do it very, very quickly. So, you've probably seen it. Someone finishes their MBA and they're like, well, I've got an MBA. So what? So does everybody else. What can you do? That's what really matters. And, they're not, ready to go. If you are working in corporate America, you've already gotten an idea of how to run a team, how to lead a team, how to work in a team. You want to upgrade your skills a little bit, but the bottom line is, you already have some of the basic foundations. You just need to, sharpen the tools. It's like the iPhone. Your iPhone, you're constantly getting upgrades. Well, this is a way for you to get an upgrade without spending 2 years and up to $200,000 to get this. You want to be able to build, strategies and plans and approaches that get results in the real world, not theories, not, hypotheticals, but real world tested ways of increasing revenues, reducing expenses, getting results, rolling out new products, enhancing additional existing products, breaking into new markets. These are the things that MBAs are looked upon to do. And the thing is, you don't need to go and spend 2 years and $200,000 to get it. It's not their fault. It's the whole system. It's been built. Nothing's changed. MBAs started to really take hold in the 40s and 50s and really picked up in the 60s. And in the 80s, they really kicked in. And now everyone's pushing to get an MBA. In fact, when the economy gets bad, everyone runs back and goes and gets, their MBA. I say that's a foolish approach. Stay in your current position, upgrade your skills, and deliver additional value in a matter of hours, days, or weeks, not years, not even months. You're able to do things that an MBA can do, but you can do it without racking up the debt and without wasting your time while still advancing your career. It's all about getting beyond the theory and getting into application to the point where you're able to deliver tangible, solid results. Most companies today, they don't want people with degrees anymore. They could care less. A lot of them are taking it away from the requirements. Big, major, desirable companies now value skills over anything else. And if they want you to learn anything, they're probably going to put you through their own training program and you'll pick up additional skills there. I highly recommend you take advantage of every single thing that your employer offers. I go and I do surges and sprints all the time. I will go and burn through almost every course they have because it's free. And then I burn through books. I will do courses, mini courses, certifications, mini certifications. I'm willing to go and do what I need to sharpen my tool set because, again, I cannot rest on my laurels and some piece of paper I earned years ago that, you know, I've said to colleagues many a time, I don't want to be a ship in the harbor. I want to be a ship out on the high seas because I don't need barnacles. I need to be, cutting through the waves and making things happen. That's the approach that you need to think about. And it's not by going back for 2 years and spending a bunch of money so that you can come back and say, oh, I got this degree. Again, so what? What can you do? And it's changed very much in the last few years. It's not the same as it used to be. And if I had it to do again today, I would do a totally different approach. Pretty much the approach that I'm sharing with you here. What I've done in the last 3 years would qualify as a college degree, an MBA, and a PhD. And I will be sharing that from time to time and in more detail on this channel, the MBA Accelerator. Meanwhile, business is changing faster than ever. The schools aren't changing. In their mind, they don't need to change. AI is coming hot and heavy. Automation is coming. You've got hybrid work. You've got global competition. Someone's willing to do it for half the price halfway around the world. So you've got to stand out. You've got to be different. And you can't afford to learn slow when the world moves as fast as it does. That's why I put the MBA Accelerator channel together. It's going to, lead into my courses that I'm going to be putting out, where I'm going to share exactly how I do things, and I do things very quickly. Um, I like to borrow ideas from folks like Tim Ferriss, who look for ways to do things quickly and efficiently to get the same results, just in a creative manner. And what I've done is find ways to do these, what I call sprints or surges, and create knowledge and information and apply it super quick. And I will go and I will, take different pieces from things. I've got quite a few certifications that, again, I highly recommend that you find ways to develop yourself through books and courses, like the MBA Accelerator course that's coming, and through certifications. Far better than going and getting, a certification we've gotten in months. Far better than going and getting a degree that takes years. And what for? When you can, deliver value almost immediately on your current position. So you want to do things where, again, I believe most things can be done in a matter of hours. I've talked about the concept that I use, where I like doing weekend surges, and I've shown this before and I'll show it again. I start on a Friday night, I push on Saturday and Sunday, and by Monday, I've added knowledge, skills, abilities, and in many cases, a new deliverable that's going to have an impact. And again, what kind of impact or outcome are we talking about? Clearly, if you're a corporate employee that is either early in your career or a mid-level professional, you're going to be looking for an outcome that will get you a new raise, get you a new promotion, or a new job. And these kind of outcomes can be done very quickly when you upgrade and upskill very fast. And I have ways that I'm sharing to show people exactly how to do that. So you can get the knowledge, the tools, and even the confidence, and you can get them very quickly. The world's moving fast, and you've got to move fast. Everything's compressing. So you need to be able to get up to speed on things, and then, add to your knowledge base, without spending years and hundreds of thousands of dollars, many times in debt that you'll be paying off for decades. Um, Business, it expects speed, it expects results, and you don't have years, you have, months, and in many cases less than that. So I highly recommend you think about, a new approach, as opposed to just running back and getting a degree where you're going to waste a whole bunch of time. The traditional MBA teaches you how to understand business. The MBA Accelerator channel and the resulting course is going to show you how to operate in it, and operate in it successfully. So if you're thought that you need an MBA but don't want to spend, years and oodles of, treasure to get it, this channel and some of the courses that you'll be able to access through this channel, it's the answer. It's just a different approach, and it's quick, and it stays relevant and up to date and up to speed. So I would like to invite you to join the waitlist for the MBA Accelerator course that's coming in a matter of weeks. I would also hope that you would give this video a like and share it. Again, I always say to people, don't keep us a secret. If you know someone that would be interested in this kind of content, please share it with them. And I would also recommend that you consider subscribing to this channel if you're very MBA oriented in terms of the knowledge and skills, and consider looking at the main channel, which again I think of as more of the lab that looks at alternatives to college, MBA, and PhD, as well as advanced learning skills and thinking models. Look forward to seeing you there.